Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. You're looking at an E50. It's a tier 9 German medium tank. It's located on the south spawn of Redshire and it's under the command of SlyMeerkat of Haiku. Alongside him in the Emil 2 is Omen Enraged of the Youth Clan. Now we don't appear to have a countdown clock. I think it's because this replay goes back to 2022, I'm afraid. Yeah, a very long time ago replay, but there is significance to us playing this one, and you'll see that in the end results, I suppose, and the second replay we're going to be doing in a short while. Now, the E50, it actually has a 105mm main gun, which is capable of doing 390 alpha this year, and 230mm of pen with standard ammo, with the premium rounds 270mm of pen. So a jump from 230 to 270, 40mm extra. Now this is the tank the Germans were working on, which was going to be the replacement or workhorse to replace most other tanks that the Germans actually had. He did a blind shot there. Guess he's expecting the enemy to be up on the hill. Now, the Entwicklung tanks are basically easier to make. They're not better, although they were. They are actually just easier to make using the same parts and materials. And you can see that this E50 looks a lot like the E75, the German heavy. Of course, the E75 was supposed to be a 75-ton tank, whilst this one was supposed to be a 50-ton tank. So it's supposed to be copying or being a replacement for a medium tank rather than a heavy. Whereas the E75 was a 75-ton heavy tank instead. Well, there's a lot of tanks here at the moment, and he's found a target he can pen, and he pumps around into the lower plate of the AE Phase 1. Tier 9 game with only tier 9 tanks in it. Pumps one in, gets the AMX 50-120, but he doesn't get the kill because the IS-32 does instead. And here comes Omen Enraged, who's in a bit of a hurry. He drives into a rock there. And yeah. Okay, everybody seems to be rushing to try and get at the enemy. He's just spotted a sharp U-4 up there. Uses the ridge line there to, or the ridge to actually protect himself. And he managed to get across the river. Okay, so he's going to approach this guy from this part, this field. We suspect there's going to be a lot of enemy tanks on top of the hill, and I'm pretty sure that's what Sly wants to get at. Found one, it's a Kunstpanzer, gets 365, which is a low roll. Another tank over there, which is a Wizzy 132, can't get a shot on just yet. Looking around the targets, can punch that one. And yes, he does get a hit in the Conway and the 132. Rather, he spots for the 132. Gets a hit into the Conway. Low roll though. Oh, the Wizzy doesn't like being hit. Fires one back. We did get ammo racks, so he's had to fix that and burn his repair kit. And it looks like the enemy's not so keen on getting hit, but he has been spotted, and it's the Wizzy. Pumps one into him, gets a high roll for 428. Now he's bypassing the Shah and all the other tanks that were defending by doing this, and he's getting underneath them, which means now he's in defilade and they can't shoot on him, but they've got to poke up if they want to get hits, and that means his teammates behind him can start firing. So he's going to end up with a lot of spotting. He will be spotted, but he's going to get a lot of spotting while his teammates get a lot of damage on the enemy. If he doesn't, if these guys pull back, he's going to end up with the damage instead. Trying to get a shot on the M103 there. Can't get shots on these guys at the moment. Using everything he can. There you go. Got it for the M103. Goes for the turret, or the cupola rather. Couldn't get it at this range. Not at this stage. His teammates have now joined him. So there's Omen Enraged with his Emil, and there's the M103 again. Tries to get in through the turret, can't get through the armor. I mean, okay, yes, it is a 105mm Should be to get the lower plate though. And he does get that one in. And it was a high roll as well. Or was it? I think it was. Yes, it was a high roll. Okay. Yag Tiger. Lower plate. Oh, he's gone. And M46 inside of the turret. He didn't get it in. But he's now going to go balls deep on these ones. He's got the rear of that guy. Pumps it around in. Oh, he rams the Progetto. That was fantastic. Gets hit points all round. The Progetto goes down. There's only 3 enemies left now. And they're over here. That was superb move there. Really did work. And it put the enemy off guard. And all of a sudden they all died. And pumps one into the pattern. Gets a hit. And now, oh, he's still tracked that pattern. Pumps another one in. Gets another hit. Low roll. Cheer wants to come over here, but I think he actually gets a ram. The pattern goes down to 1 shot. The Shah is in reload. He can't escape. And that is the end of the game. It's all over by the shouting. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an Ace Tanker game from March of 2022. Yeah, I've had this one sitting in my inbox for a long time, and I do apologise to SlyMeerkat. Sometimes, there's an awful lot of Arty replays come in, and it's difficult for me to actually squeeze in the odd tank replay. I'm trying to squeeze in as many as I can before getting back to Arty. I've got a whole load of good Arty replays to do. But this replay is very relevant because it's an E50 game from 2022. And we've got this more recent one from Sly in the E50. And that's worth watching. So we'll watch this one first. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks or more. A Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 6. He got a Fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And on top of that, he got the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. That's pretty amazing. Because remember, he's a medium tank. He's not a heavy tank. He's a medium. And he was taking on heavies. And he was doing a lot of damage to them. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see in this one that he did get the highest damage at 5,186. The next highest player, which was Omen in range, only got 3,364. And the third highest was the Tortoise, who managed 3,284. And they were the only ones who managed to get over 3,000 hit points each. When it came to kills, we can see that it was actually the IS-32 who did the best with 3 kills. But just beneath him is SlyMeerkat with 2 kills, along with the Tortoise and the T-30. And we can see Omen Enraged. Well, he's a little further down the table. He only got the 1 kill out of that one. But when it came to base XP, it's Sly right at the top with 1,450. Just beneath him, Omen Enraged again with 1,012. They were the only 2 who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game, and they were platooned together. The next highest being the IS-32, who only got 947. So he was below par. Let's have a look at detail. Okay, so he fired 23 rounds in that game. He got 16 direct hits on the enemy, 12 penetrations, and 5,186 hit points of damage, of which 2,021 were at more than 300 meters. 3 hits received, all 3 penetrated. The E50 is actually designed to move fast. So it actually does have a 60 kilometer an hour top speed, and it weighs only 66 tons actually. So it's not a 50-ton tank, it's a 66-ton tank, but it is lightened on armor. It has a lot of good health, but it's the front of the turret is 250 millimeters, front of the hull is 150, but the rest of the armor is fairly light. It's 80 millimeters all the way around on the turret, on the sides, on the rear, and the same on the hull. So rounds hitting it from an angle are likely to go through. So yes, he can't avoid damage, and that's why he did take 3 hits, got 3 pens. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 2,461 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 102,765 credits, and that's on a tech tree tank, not a premium tank. He actually managed to get personal reserve bonus and battle payments out of that one as well. And he didn't use that much in the way of premium ammo, but he did use consumables. But he still made a massive profit. He also got a pretty good supply of XP out of that one, 4,676, with a bonus for playing in platoon because they went into battle together, and he got a personal reserve bonus as well. So a really good game, an ace tanker game in the E50 back in 2022. But we got another replay also in the E50, and this will show you how much SlyMeerkat has improved. Let's see. Well, here's the second battle, and the Entwicklung 50, as it actually is properly known, was actually conceived in 1945 to replace the Panther and the Panther II with the 88mm main gun. In fact, this one's got the 105mm capable of 390 alpha. And I think you can see now that SlyMeerkat's now got 2 marks of excellence on his barrel, and he's working on his third, so that's why he's loaded plenty of premium. Omen Enraged is in the T-54 Heavy, but he's gone elsewhere to fight, and so Sly is going to fight around Temple Mount. Whoa! Well, he literally took off there because he went over that rock, which most people don't see the drop the other side. And if you're in a light tank, you would suffer damage. But this is a particularly heavy tank. It's 66 tons in weight. It was originally designed to be 50 tons, but, you know, weight creep on most of these vehicles is quite a big problem. And that happened to virtually all of the Entwicklung series of tanks. It does actually look very, very similar to the Entwicklung 75, the E75 as you might otherwise know it. But it is a medium tank. It does have really good armour at the front of the vehicle. 150 on the hull, angled, and 215mm on the turret. Okay, some enemies over there. He probably hit those. Oh, Griller! Oh, he pumps an HE round in, and he gets a high roll for 564. And the Griller's gone. The HE rounds are actually capable of doing, if I can get the mouse to come over it, 510 alpha. So to get 564, he did very well. But I think he's just spotted that the CC1 Mark II on our team is actually under a lot of pressure, and he's almost about to die. He's gone. He was under pressure from a mouse. So the enemy's trying to creep the mouse around the south side of Temple Mount. I call it Temple Mount because it's all those Greek temples there, the columns, and of course the amphitheatre. Now he's anticipating the guy's going to come around that corner. He's got 8 degrees of gun depression. Pumps one round through the side, but he only gets a low roll, 363. Okay, standard reload for this tank is 9.2 seconds. I'm sure he's dropped that a bit. Unfortunately, we're playing this without mods, so we don't know the value of his reload. And he bounces around from the mouse, trying to go for the top of the turret rather than go for the weak spots, the normal ones. Ow! And he takes a round from another E50, the enemy one.
Support my position.
Of course, the E50M. Oh, now that's nasty. The 263 bumps him around in, and now he's fighting 3 enemies, so he has to pull back. He can't stay here toe to toe with 3 enemies. And he takes a round from the mouse at last, and unfortunately, it's 493, which is a low roll because, of course, that guy, or is that a low roll? I think it might be a high roll because, of course, I think he's got the 128. And here comes a 704. Oh my God, what a silly thing to do. He just leapt off the cliff there. He's tracked himself and he's made himself a one shot, and he goes down, and we didn't get the kill. The 704 went to the T30, who's now in dire trouble. Now we're working with this UDIS 1516, letting him have the spot. We're going to go behind. The 263's come down. He's gone down to the T30. Of course, that has the big 155mm gun. And Sly now realizes he can leave that bunch because they've dealt with the enemy. The mouse is gone, and they're all free and clear. The enemy are down by 5 tanks now, so they've really suffered after that little interlude. They tried to rush 3 enemy tanks past us. All they've done is they've lost 3 enemy tanks in the process. Okay, so having a good look. Can't see anything to shoot at yet. Oh, why did he fire that one in? I think he's aiming towards the bushes, thinking there might be somebody in there. Oh, there's the Arty. He's at the back. He's actually moving, relocating. Didn't get spotted, but he is out the game now. Only got 152. There's the strip. Now he should use the bush mechanic, and he does get a hit. 395, which is a high roll. Of course, this is the old version because this is a game from 2022. He killed the strip with a blind shot. Yes, this is a game from 2022, so we've got the old version of Airfield. Not quite the same. And that's it. The game's over. They've done it. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for SlyMeerkat in the E-Bumsig. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. He got his 3rd mark of excellence during that game, and he also got a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. Yes, in fact, he did so much damage in that game, he actually got a win rate of 5,673, which is Super Unicum standard. But other than that, it really wasn't quite a special game as such, other than the 3rd mark. We look at team score, we can see he actually did get the highest damage in the game, but he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit point, and that's why he didn't get the high caliber out of that one. 4,170 hit points went to Sly. The 2nd highest damage in the game actually went to the 60 TP on his team, 3,315, and the 3rd highest damage went to that UDAS 1516 who came over to help. He got 3,261 hit points of damage. We can see that Omen in Rage got 2,229. He wasn't fighting in the same area, but he did get a Confederate. In fact, he was the only one who got a medal in that game. When it came to kills, we can see the high score was the UDAS 1516. That's probably the reason he came over to help, because he thought he could get some kills, and he did. 5 kills to him. 3 kills went to the T30, and 2 kills went to SlyMeerkat in the E-Bumsig, and also to the mouse on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's the only player to get over 1,000 base in the game, 1,240. The next highest scorer being the UDAS 1516 with 994, and the 3rd being the Superconk, who got 935. So he got the top in 2 columns, just missed out on the number of kills. He fired 15 rounds, but he got 13 direct hits and 11 penetrations. 4,170 hit points, of which 936 were at more than 300 meters. I should think the T92 was one of those. 4 hits received from the enemy, 3 of them penetrated, 1 non-penetration. Well, yes, he was faced with some pretty big hardware, which were firing very, very hard, large caliber rounds at him. And of course, they were bound to go through if they hit the right angle. But he did bounce 1 round while he was actually fighting over the topple temple mount at the enemy tanks that were in the rear. 490 hit points was blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles were spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and he got 2,130 hit points of spotting assist in that game. On a premium count, he actually made a small loss, but it was only 3,820 credits. In fact, his loss was down to the fact that he was using premium ammo, and of course he was using consumables as well, and that's what cost him in the game. But he did take away 3,348 experience points as well, after getting 1,488 of a mission completion. So he's now got his 3rd mark of excellence on the E-Bumsig, and you can see that over the time, Sly actually improved. In fact, this replay wasn't from 2022. It was the first replay you saw, this one, that was 2022, the one on Redshire. And that was in March of 2022. And the subsequent one you just saw, that was actually from February of 23. So it's over a year ago that this was recorded. And you can see that these replays have been sitting in my inbox to be done. And I said I'd get around to doing them eventually, and I have got around to doing them now. So congratulations to SlyMeerkat. He's been operating for over a year with a third marked eForm Sieg, and I didn't actually do the replays. So I have done them now. Yeah, okay, they're out. They're out of my inbox. I do actually have a couple more replays from Sly. In fact, more than a couple. I've got a one replay featuring the Object 705 and another one featuring a Centurion. So those should be quite interesting, and I'll try and do those in the next couple of days so Sly's all clear. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this replay or replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.